Digimon Seekers, Chapter 3, Part 10. Eiji felt better than he had in some time after eating, taking a nice long shower and changing his clothes. Lugamon, meanwhile, entertained their guest. Thankfully, said guest was well versed in the digital world and knew how to handle conversing with a hololized Digimon. Thanks for sticking around until I could, wow, my place is a mess. Sorry about that, Eiji muttered, scrubbing his head dry with a towel as he sat down. Don't worry about it. My place doesn't look much different, the man replied. Eiji let out a massive sigh, days' worth of anguish forcing its way out of him. And it's a bit late to be saying this, but sorry for barging in here unannounced. The man took a sip from his canned coffee. He looked supremely relaxed and at ease, and Eiji found himself strangely relaxed as well. It wasn't as though his apartment was full of potential weapons. He didn't even own any knives. So, rude as this might be to ask after you brought me food, which, thank you by the way. Who are you again? Tartarus, leader of the SOC. The man behind the avatar. True to his code cracker roots, he wasn't about to give Eiji his real name. I'm Eiji Nagasumi. Of course. The man showed up at the same time Eiji got that text message from Tartarus, and Lugamon had mentioned as much. You want proof that I am in fact the leader of the SOC, don't you? If you've got any. Proving you are who you are on the net is one of the harder things to do, but maybe this'll be enough. Dorumon. A hololized Digimon emerged from the Digimon linker on Tartarus's wrist. Hey, that's the raggedy Digimon we met in the wall slum, Lugamon barked. The Digimon before them was the one who tasked them with mapping the 9th district as an entrance exam of sorts for the SOC. They removed their rags to reveal a bushy tail and small wings protruding from their back. They were a rookie Digimon, about the same size as Lugamon. My name is Dorumon, and I'm not raggedy. This is my friend and partner Digimon, Tartarus said by way of introduction. The three-mat apartment was beginning to feel quite cramped with 2 people and 2 Digimon now sitting inside. Wait, no, hang on, you're the interviewer, Eiji yelped, pointing directly at Tartarus. The interviewer you met at the start of all this is Tartarus's other avatar, Dorumon confirmed. Only a handful of people were supposed to know about that little entrance exam, so even if he was lying about being Tartarus, he was at least pretty high up in the SOC. Okay, so, why? Eiji asked. Why would Tartarus, the legendary code cracker, bother with overseeing my interview? I can only think of one reason. You knew why I was trying to get into the SOC in the first place. Tartarus must have known about Professor Ryusenji's directive. It was the only way Eiji could make it make sense. Marvin was right on the money about you. You feign ignorance, but you're observant where it counts, Dorumon said approvingly. He said what? Eiji swung his head around to look at Dorumon. Exactly right. We know you're Professor Ryusenji's spies. Come to see what you can find out about the SOC. Dorumon continued, brushing Eiji's question aside. And you let us into the SOC anyway? Eiji asked, a little uncertain if he should direct his question to the man drinking coffee before him or the Digimon beside him. Well, we needed your muscle, for one. I mean, you saved Martin's life during the attack on the X-Nation's data servers, which I would like to once again thank you for. Yeah, no problem. You're rude, but polite where it counts, Lugamon said, reappraising Dorumon. All of this is to say that we knew we could trust you precisely because you were the professor's little spies. If a code cracker was good enough for Professor Ryusenji, they were good enough for the SOC. Wow, code cracking teams and Digimon respect the professor's instincts. No wonder they had welcomed him into the upper ranks so quickly, despite his inexperience and lack of accomplishments. But there's another, arguably more important reason, and I want to ask about that. What was the SOC going to do once they had an ultimate-level Digimon? Eiji said as he opened one of the energy drinks and began chugging. He didn't feel like he was going to puke anymore, and his Digimon linker reported that his vitals were more or less back to normal. That's my story to tell, Tartarus muttered, catching Eiji off guard. A parable, if you will. Tartarus the code cracker's story, you mean, Dorumon clarified. A story that now involves you and Lugamon, not to mention me. Wait, so everything's gone according to the SOC's plan? Eiji said, trying to jump ahead. I wouldn't go that far. All the necessary characters are in place, but we can't control the outcome, even if everyone plays their part, Dorumon said portentously. Eiji felt like he finally had something to grasp onto as all this unfolded. He still didn't understand the big picture yet, but he finally put a finger on why he was so wary of this Dorumon. It wasn't simply the fact that they were Tartarus's partner Digimon, it came down to the wit and will they possessed. He knew Digimon were creatures with personalities and free will in their own right, of course. The professor had disabused him of the notion they were mere AI, but there was something fiercely independent about this Digimon. He couldn't shake the feeling that they had their own goals in mind. Why else would they take such a lead role, leaving their human partner to just sit back and watch the show? What are you talking about? I only do what I want to do. Lugumon bristled at the notion they were a pawn in anyone's plot. Indeed you do, Lugumon. Ag and we're gonna save Leon and Pulseman. Lugumon had his own agenda, uncomplicated as it was. That's why Tartarus, the leader of the SOC, is here in your home, Doraemon said. The implication was clear. They were going to need the SOC leader's help if they were going to rescue their friends. Someone who understood the intricacies of mind linking and the digital world. Ag saw their plan take shape in his mind's eye. Lugumon and I want to save Leon Alexander and his partner Digimon, Pulseman, who have gone DMIA. We're hoping you can tell us how to best go about that, Ag said carefully. Need I remind you it was us, the SOC, who requested you retaliate against the hacker known as Judge? Doraemon shot back. Leon destroyed Machine Dramon during the attack on the X-Nation servers. That much was true. That was all the justification they needed. Assigning blame is the easy part. Leon is DMIA because of my mistakes. Besides, they didn't care how Leon was punished, so long as he was. And I finally managed to digivolve to my ultimate form, only to go completely berserk, Lugumon growled bitterly. Then it is clear, Doraemon cut in, that we still share a common goal. We do? Something still felt off to Ag. He couldn't help but think there was more to this code cracker and his partner Digimon than met the eye. That's where the SOC's true purpose lies. We aim to save those who have gone DMIA. That's the reason Tartarus established a team in the first place. That wasn't quite what Ag expected to hear. Code-cracking teams were usually formed to investigate something for a fee, or else for some other purpose that appealed to some ideal or other. At least, that was what Ag thought they were built around. So, it's not about freedom on the net, or in the digital world? Those are the codecrackers' ideals, yes. But the core of the SOC is built around a much narrower vision, one shared only with a handful of people at the top, Marvin being one of them. Humans and Digimon may belong to completely different worlds, but we have agreed to work together to see this through, Doraemon said, the implication being that everyone present was like-minded. Ag turned his gaze to Tartarus. Okay, so let's go back to something you said earlier. I've been told that Tartarus never let anyone go DMIA on his missions. But earlier you told me you've been through what I'm going through, that someone went DMIA, and it was your fault. Yes, his reputation precedes him, but that is a misunderstanding. One that gives me too much credit, Tartarus said, stepping on his Digimon's explanation. Ag sat quietly, waiting for someone to speak. I was the first person to lose someone in the digital world. I became a meticulous planner in order to avoid making the same mistake twice. That kind of behavior earns people a reputation. Tell me more, Ag said. Tartarus fixed him with a steely gaze that softened into a hint of pain. As much as you're comfortable with, he added, trying to gauge the man's reaction. Tartarus agreed to tell his story. Ag figured this was his plan all along. What else could possibly have brought him to Ag's door? End of Chapter 3, Part 10.